There we go. Were you wanting us to share slides for you?
So now, sorry, but now you could see my slides and could hear me, oh?
You're good.
Yep, you're good to go, Marcus.
Very sorry from my side. I tested it, but this Google Chrome was the big tip. Thank you, Christopher, and sorry to the audience that we waste time. So how long we have now till 8 or
You can
40 minutes?
Hour.
40 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I hurry up. Yeah, sorry again from my side. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first Global LabVIEW Architect Summit also from my side. Sorry for the delay again. Yes, I hope you could hear me and see my slides now. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to speak to you about IoT and digitalization and SystemLink in this digitalization process. So the topic of my speech is digital steps are minimal steps with LabVIEW and SystemLink step by step in the Internet of Things. And I will start my presentation by telling you a bit about myself and our working areas. Then I will share a few thoughts on the topic of digitalization and my point of view concerning Internet of Things. For example, what are the challenges for many companies? Then I would like to describe the so-called digital initial stage concept and deliver very concrete handouts for you and your companies on your journey to the Internet of Things. And yes, and afterwards, according to the title, I talk what role LabVIEW and SystemLink can play or could play in digital transformation, and how LabVIEW and SystemLink can be drivers and accelerators on the way to the Internet of Things. And at the end, I will finish my speech presenting you the approach, minimal steps, digital steps. So to find out your own way into the Internet of Things. So yes, let's begin. Now how I could share. You could see now also the second slide, or? Hopefully. Yeah. So let's begin who I am. Yes, you introduced me as the yellow shoes. Yes, I'm Marcus Hyde. Most of you know me from my shoes, but generally who I am, I'm from the University of Applied Science in Darmstadt, and there I'm a sensor expert and professor for sensors. And in 2009, I founded the ZAS in Darmstadt. ZAS means Competence Center for Applied Sensor System. Within this framework, we do research in applied sensor developments. I'm also the director of the first worldwide LabVIEW a competence center for high assurance system development, the so-called LabVIEW ZAS, and the director of the LabVIEW Academy in Darmstadt. On this field, one field is sensors, and here sensor solution to solve problems and challenges out for our partners and customers. Generally, we do not develop a sensor, but we will find a convenient sensor, and the algorithm to apply it is mostly small and cheap sensors, so we could track objects. On this picture, you could see a sea container for which we have developed a condition monitoring system. And yes, we do also some stuff in artificial intelligence, generally algorithms, and relatively new research focus is also the area of blockchain and smart contracting. Here we develop a blockchain platform to turn existing sensor and machine supplier into service provider. And this topic is highly interesting for test automation manufacturers to according to test access also in the future. Yes, and in addition to these research activities, I'm also, as a LabVIEW consultant, I support companies in the area of LabVIEW proficiency, adoption, and safety, and I conduct alignment, proficiency, and architecture workshops in companies and give LabVIEW training. But what is interesting today? Is my work as an IoT and digitalization expert. I advise companies and they're on their way into the Internet of Things and help them with their digital transformation. And maybe what's interesting for you, I think the combination between this LabVIEW SystemLink stuff and these digitalization process. And yes, yeah, Internet of Things. So after file transfer, e-commerce, and social media, is the interacting of devices the next generation of the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things is one of the most important innovation drivers for economy, society, and culture. Internet of Things means that every participant is intelligent and connected. Internet of Things, or IoT for short, means that unlike previous internet, now all things are on the internet and not just computers and machines. In the future, everything will be on the internet. Every pen, every car, every refrigerator, every toothbrush, simply every device, simply everything, the internet of everything, or the Internet of Things. And the transition to this Internet of Things we call digitalization or digital transformation. Everything that we that was previously analog is now digital, and the process in this direction is the digital transformation. So, and the industrial part of Internet of Things is called Industrial 4.0 or Industry 4.0, mostly in Germany, or international is industrial Internet of Things, IoT. And this is also the danger for companies that focus exclusively on this area. So industrial or Industry 4.0 has the production and manufacturing line to the intelligent factory in focus. However, the digital transformation also includes other areas and a holistic view of the company. Otherwise, it can happen that a company produce diesel ECUs in a smart factory in the future. Okay, back to the Internet of Things, or IoT. Internet of Things, as I mentioned before, means that every participant is intelligent and connected. And here you see my point of view of Internet of Things, which recognize smart products, smart factories, big data, and also smart business models. And so let me start with smart products. Smart products are systems like an intelligent refrigerator, which recognize by itself that the milk is empty and will order automatically milk because it's refrigerated and connected. And maybe a more serious or more industrial example is a motor in a fab, which will recognize automatically that its axis will be broken in 2 weeks and order automatically the new axis before it is crashed. Yes, and the next column is the smart factory. And the idea is to produce an individual product. So the factory must process a product is. For example, if you know that a car is just before the painting process, you could change the color just in time. And so the idea is to realize the batch size of 1. one example is configurable shoes. My kids configure their sneakers, and they are then manufactured in an intelligent factory. The goal is to be able to manufacture the individual product. That's the reason for a smart factory. Only those who can do this in the future will be successful on the market. It's we say Germany currently have a market of 80 million participants. In the future, we will have 80 million markets. Yes, and the next column is big data. If all machines are connected, you could collect an amount of data, the so-called big data. The challenge is to get the right information out of all your big datas. And the last column is the most important ones, the smart business models. And this is certainly the critical component of a digital strategy in order to also be successful in the future. Precisely, these intelligent business models are opportunities and challenges of Internet of Things and Industry 4.0. I'm sure you heard, of course, of Uber. Uber does not own any taxis, but they make money from transporting people. How so? Uber has an intelligent business model, and Uber come out of the middle of nowhere and took them the market by surprise with a very intelligent business model. And the crazy thing is Uber is only a platform, but serves unsatisfied customer needs. Nobody knew Uber before, and nobody had experience with Uber. Uber was a butcher from whom people ordered their stairs. The need to satisfy the customer needs was so great that they had the butcher build their stairs. I think other examples are or other platforms except to Uber is, for example, Tesla. Also, they satisfied unsatisfied customer needs in this e-mobility area. Or Flixbus in Germany is also a platform only for transportation. And all of them have been platforms and absolutely newcomers on the market, but with disruptive business models, they have completely transformed the market. So you see that we have 4 important areas of Internet of Things: smart products, smart factories, big data, and smart business models. And at the moment, this topic is for many partners and companies very interesting, but there is a challenge, especially for smaller companies, to understand the topic and grasp the opportunity presented by the Internet of Things. So for many companies, it is difficult to grasp and implement what and what exactly do I have to do now, how I can start now, what do I start with, and how to involve my employees in the process. And therefore my approach is to break the whole thing down to potentials that can be leveraged and unfulfilled customer needs, or potential capabilities and unfulfilled customer needs. And so we go in search of these potentials. How do we become better or more efficient or qualitatively better in the future? And we search by, for example, a workshop, these unfulfilled customer needs, and not only externally, but also internally, customer needs between departments and locations, between development and production, between sales and development, between human research department and employees, could also be unsatisfied customer needs, or we could also call it interfaces in a company. So to improve the interfaces in the company. And these ideas or these potentials and unsatisfied customer needs, these will be collected and categorized and prioritized in a process, and the list is then at the end you will have a list of prioritized unfulfilled customer needs and potential, and the list is then used as the basis for defined concrete next steps. So these steps could be small concrete projects, new sensor in the product in project 1, or condition monitoring for the most important production machine in project 2. One data or date from the big data which leads the successful business model, and so you could go this process or this way in the Internet of Things step by step. And yes, sorry. And then you could realize the first project, write a success story, gets the return on invest, and then takes the next step. So for my digital steps are minimal steps, and this is then also a never-ending story. So we will not have a company digital in 2 years in a big project. For me, it is a never-ending story on the way to the Internet of Things. And yes, here you could get an impression of these process. I hope also the video starts. And here you could see the chief digital officer, and he has the challenge also with buzzwords, smart business models, Internet of Things, Industrial 4.0, IoT, digital transformation. And so for him, it is also a gray cloud, these Internet of Things stuff and digitalization. And there we help them, and the process is to go through the company from several areas and departments, so from development, human resources, marketing, finance, management, key account, and so on. And then we sit together in a workshop scenario, and then there we will have a digital sensibilization at the beginning. Some of them had an idea or questions and things. You see here the same slide I mentioned before, and then we are collecting potentials and customer needs or apps and so on. And this is a traditional brainstorming with these potentials, and then the follow-up process is a categorization and then also a prioritization. And then we could develop a next step list with small projects and maybe only half a year projects and projects you could realize also with a smaller budget, and also with maybe also your own employees, for example, and to write an own success story. And then you could go step by step to this Internet of Things stuff, and it is then very clear and concrete what you have to do, and what are the first steps, and then you could also think about after a while, is this still the right way and the right strategy, and how we can go further in this direction. Yes, and yes, and also since Corona is also a possibility with some platforms like here Mural and so on, that you could do also this process web-based. And the idea is to realize digital small steps to go in the Internet of Things. And Now, what is the relation to LabVIEW and SystemLink? Now, you have a process where you have at the end a list of small projects, and now there is also a possibility now to do these digital steps with LabVIEW and SystemLink. And in my opinion, LabVIEW and SystemLink could be a driver and accelerator on this way to this Internet of Things, on this Internet of Things. For example, with LabVIEW, I get these small projects or feasibility studies or sensor application to implement a first sensor in a product, or to realize a special test or measurement application on a machine to go in this direction of condition monitoring, or to build up localization systems. And so these concrete steps, otherwise if you don't take care about these smaller projects and you have an idea how to roll out and who could implement this project, then you will lost the momentum. And therefore, I think LabVIEW is a good tool, and you are experts in these tools, and so you could also extend your portfolio in to say you consult companies also in these Internet of Things stuff, or you could take care in your own company on this way. For example, in LabVIEW, you could then integrate new sensors for condition monitoring projects. You could realize prototypes of new products or new business models. You could realize localization solutions. You could integrate new technologies, for example, blockchain, yes, and also to connect your LabVIEW controlled or test stand controlled machine to the smart contracting possibilities, to bring your business model from sensor or machine deliverer to system service provider, to a service provider portfolio. And maybe last but not least, one example is to integrate artificial intelligence algorithms with, for example, Python and so on, and to integrate this then also in systems. And on the other side, also SystemLink could also be an accelerator, and maybe more on these data, or on this column of big data and first applications, data applications, or data-based or information-based applications. For example, you could evaluate individual data, you could connect individual machines, and maybe you have also the possibility of a scalability to use maybe, or to realize an adaptation of SystemLink with one machine at the beginning, and increase your experience on this area, and also realize then a first business model based on one machine or one data, and then you could also educate your employees also in this direction. Yes, and yes, also maybe a connection of an ERP system and or data delivery for new business models. Then I think at the end, every smart product, every smart business model, and every big data that is based on, or the core is mostly an information, and often also a measurement result from, for example, a sensor. You could connect with LabVIEW, and you could also control and realize with an SystemLink approach. and maybe also an appropriate rollout across the entire company. And so in my opinion, LabVIEW and SystemLink experts, as a LabVIEW and SystemLink expert, you have a tooling and at your hand to help companies on the road to digital transformation and to cut the path to the Internet of Things down to size and to make the path walkable. I think the biggest challenge on this whole area for everybody, it's completely clear that it is important, digitalization, digital transformation, Internet of Things, industrial IoT, but to grasp the opportunity and to find the first step to go in this direction and to involve also several departments, several employees, this is then generally a challenge. That this path is walkable. So yes, from my side, this is a little bit this approach and some thoughts about digital transformation. And at the end, I think I could end with these sentence: digital steps are minimal steps. And I think I could present the relation from SystemLink and LabVIEW in this area and the important role and possibilities you have with these tooling and these approaches for the future. So far from my side, and thank you for your attention. I hurry up a little bit. I think now we have some minutes to answer some questions. And sorry again for my delay at the beginning and my challenges or my fighting with these equipment. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, there was a question from Nivas concerning to give some example for blockchain and using LabVIEW, or where to study about in details. Yes, what we developed, maybe as I mentioned in these slides before, I will skip there 1 second. Yes, here you yes, here you could see an approach also to connect sensors and applications over smart contracting on a blockchain platform. And the idea is now to make a smart contracting between participants in this blockchain. And so you could also think that maybe a test machine is a participant of these blockchain, and also an application, also maybe an implementation of SystemLink, for example, or LabVIEW, or any SAP app, for example. And now we have the possibility that the test and manufacturer haven't to deliver a complete machine, only maybe to give the machine for free, and they have a billing at the end for every access on this machine. And this is maybe also a solution for a challenge area, that if you have a bigger company and the test manufacturer have to deliver a test machine, that these projects which ask for this machine has not the budget to for the whole invest, and therefore for the company it's a challenge. This project needs this test machine, but only for the project. And what is then in the future? Will we have the follow-up project? If you have then the possibility that the project funded this machine for duration of the project. And so a part of the machine is now also going transferred to the company. The next project can overtake this machine, and so you have a better a possibility to for these invest. And yes, and in general that you have a little bit more trust in these data connections if you have also the mechanism of these smart contracting and these consensus algorithm of a blockchain. Yeah, and therefore it's also important. I think there is most of these blockchain projects are, and therefore it's also important that somebody will connect the real machine also to these platform. And I think therefore LabVIEW is also good tooling to do this. And we realized also an prototype for the Hannover 4 1 year ago. Okay, other questions from your side? Yes, Gabriel, you have here these question. Do you have any advice on how to prototype such solutions to convince these companies to go in and invest before seeing concrete results? Yes, I think there I have also no advice or solution. I think if you have these smaller steps, the investment isn't so high, so you could start with the first part and the first small project and get experience, return of invest in this part, and go the next step. In Germany, we have also some funding, especially for these activities and digitalization for companies, also to realize feasibility studies. But generally, there's also the only advantage is to reduce the development time. If you have a tool like LabVIEW, and if you divide the steps in smaller steps, I think then the return of invest is earlier and easier, and you have not these big risk to do this. And yeah, could you please share more details on names, if possible, from companies that you help implement the IoT solution with SystemLink and LabVIEW, especially factories? Yes, we have one project with a company where we realize the interconnection of test machines on LabVIEW based idea, and to have with this interconnection of these test machines also the access of all of the machines, and also to offer test effort to other companies. And the first step was there to get these informations. This is one idea. The other topic is also to yes, we realized also these blockchain projects, also LabVIEW based for other companies, and maybe also to build up your test suite in your company more modularized, and so that you could fulfill special customer needs and new business models. Okay, I do this SystemLink. Okay, further questions? Yes, we are also involved in a company. They realized mostly a combination. So I would like to answer work with LabVIEW and OPC UR. I think, yeah, this combination is often in our focus on in companies realized where we work together, and yes, but not maybe in these focus I presented here, but generally also some experience in this direction. Yeah. Yes, we are also using test stand. So I use test stand. So we are more in these consulting area, or in this we support companies, but also they have in their focus test stand and LabVIEW, and also in a combination. And yes. Okay, I think we have 2 minutes left, maybe one question, and then I think the next presenter. Have you tried LabVIEW with Mqtt? Yes, in our institute. Okay, Fabiola mentioned that we have to leave, and maybe only a fast answer. Yes, we use it also in this direction of UVB tracking system, and there we realized also applications in LabVIEW. Yes. Okay, then thank you very much for your attention, and don't hesitate to contact me also over mail or the community platform, and yeah, enjoy the GLA Summit.